Someone really thought you were going to chase them, and they are absolutely shocked that you haven't. They expected texts. They expected calls. They expected you to break down, beg for another chance, or at least ask for an explanation. But instead, silence. Complete, unbothered, powerful silence. And now they're sitting there confused, frustrated, and starting to panic. Because their entire plan was built on the assumption that you needed them more than they needed you. But you just proved them wrong. And now they don't know what to do. This is deep mindset. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening in their mind right now, why your silence is destroying them, and what to expect next. Because this is just the beginning. Let's dive in. 1. They underestimated you. Here's the truth. When they walked away, when they pulled back, when they created distance, they had a script in their head. They thought you'd panic. They thought you'd chase. They thought you'd prove how much you cared by fighting for them. And if you had, they would have felt powerful. They would have felt wanted. They would have felt in control. But you didn't. You let them go. You respected their decision. You chose your dignity over desperation. And now their entire narrative has collapsed. Because the role you were supposed to play, the desperate, heartbroken, pleading ex, you refused to perform it. And that refusal is breaking their brain. Psychology calls this expectation violation. When someone's prediction about your behavior is proven wrong, it creates cognitive dissonance. They can't make sense of it. Why aren't you chasing me? Why aren't you fighting for this? And that confusion is slowly turning into panic. 2. Your silence is louder than any words. They expected drama. They expected emotion. They expected you to fill their inbox with paragraphs explaining how much you miss them, how much you need them, how lost you are without them. But instead, they got nothing. And nothing is the most powerful response you could have given, because silence doesn't give them closure. Silence doesn't give them validation. Silence doesn't give them control. And right now, they're obsessing over it. They're checking your social media. They're asking mutual friends if you've mentioned them. They're replaying your last conversation, trying to figure out what went wrong. And the fact that you're not reacting is making them question everything. Did I even matter to them? Were they already over me before I left? Did I just lose someone who was never going to beg for me? 3. They're starting to see your value. Here's where the shift happens. When you were present, they took you for granted. They had access to your energy, your love, your time, your support. It was always there. So they treated it like it would always be there. But now that you're gone, now that your presence is no longer filling their life, they're starting to notice all the little things they lost. The way you made them feel safe. The way you listened. The way you cared. The way you showed up. And suddenly, all those things they dismissed as ordinary. They're realizing they were extraordinary. This is the psychology of loss aversion. People value things more after they lose them than they did when they had them. And right now, they're going through that painful realization. You weren't replaceable. You weren't average. You weren't lucky to have them. They were lucky to have you. 4. They're comparing everyone to you. One of the most painful parts of their experience right now is this. They thought they'd move on easily. They thought they'd find someone better, someone easier, someone more exciting. But every person they meet falls short. Because no one else has your energy. No one else understands them the way you did. No one else makes them feel the way you did. And deep down, they're starting to accept a hard truth. They're not going to find another you. Psychology calls this the comparison trap. Once you experience a high-quality connection, every future connection gets measured against it. And you set the standard so high that nothing else compares. So now they're stuck, wanting you, missing you, regretting their decision, but too proud to admit it. Yet, 5. They thought you needed them more than you actually did. This is the core miscalculation. They genuinely believed you couldn't function without them. They thought your happiness was tied to their presence. They thought your world revolved around them. But the moment you stopped chasing, the moment you went silent, you shattered that illusion. And now they're forced to confront an uncomfortable reality. You didn't need them, you wanted them. There's a difference. Need is desperation. Want is a choice. And the moment they lost your want, they lost their power. And that loss of power is eating them alive. Because now they're the one who feels needy. They're the one checking for updates. They're the one wondering, obsessing, regretting. And the roles have completely reversed. 6. Your growth is driving them crazy. While they expected you to fall apart, you started healing. While they thought you'd be stuck, you started thriving. And now, whether through social media, mutual friends, or just energetic shifts, they're noticing. You're glowing. You're at peace. You're moving forward. And this glow is undeniable. Because you're not performing strength. You're genuinely living it. And that authenticity is magnetic. People are noticing you. Opportunities are flowing toward you. Life is rewarding you for choosing yourself. And they're watching all of this from a distance, realizing they walked away from the best version of themselves they ever experienced. Because your energy elevated them. And now that it's gone, they're feeling the weight of its absence. 7. They're going to test the waters. Here's what's coming next. At some point, probably when you least expect it, they're going to reach out. It won't be a grand gesture. It won't be an apology. It'll be something small, something casual, designed to test if you're still emotionally available. A random text, a comment on your post, a like on an old photo, a message asking a meaningless question. They're testing to see if the door is still open. They're testing to see if you still care. They're testing to see if they still have access to your heart. And here's the critical moment. How you respond, or if you respond at all, will determine the next chapter. If you engage immediately, if you seem eager, if you give them the validation they're fishing for, they'll pull back again, because they'll feel reassured that you're still hooked. But if you stay unbothered, if you respond with calm indifference or don't respond at all, they'll panic even more. And that panic will push them toward a decision they've been avoiding, actually admitting they were wrong. 8. The power is now yours. Here's the final truth. They thought they were in control when they walked away. They thought they held all the power. They thought you'd come running. But by refusing to chase, by choosing silence, by prioritizing your peace, you took the power back. And now they're the one sitting in uncertainty. They're the one feeling regret. They're the one wondering what if. You don't need to gloat. You don't need to rub it in. You don't even need to acknowledge it, because the shift has already happened. They went from feeling confident to feeling confused, from feeling powerful to feeling powerless. And all of that happened because you refused to play the role they assigned you. You chose yourself. And that choice changed everything. Closing words. So here's what to expect. They're going to keep watching. They're going to keep wondering. And eventually, they're going to reach out. But by the time they do, you'll be so far ahead, so healed, so at peace, that their return will feel less like a victory and more like a test. A test to see if you've truly moved on. A test to see if you've learned your worth. A test to see if you're still willing to accept breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole damn meal. And the answer to that test, that's up to you. But remember this. You didn't chase them. You didn't beg them. You didn't break yourself trying to keep them. You chose your dignity. You chose your peace. You chose yourself. And that's the real victory. If this resonated with you, drop one word in the comments. Free, healing, unbothered, thriving. Whatever you're feeling right now, let it out. And if you want more empowering truth like this, subscribe to Deep Mindset. We're not here to help you get them back. We're here to help you get yourself back. See you in the next one.